All right, good afternoon, Who That Nation. Welcome to the WDN Chatline podcast. This is the host CB, and I'm here with my co-host Uptown. MOD, what it do, fam?
Hey, hey, what's good? What's good with it? What's good with it? Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Yes, sir.
What's good with it?
Good to have you in the building, fam. So, Who That Nation. Basically, today we're gonna do the preview show. As you guys know, we going up to Chi-Town and gonna take care of the Bears tomorrow, hopefully. But that's what the preview show is gonna consist of. Our thoughts and opinions on matchups and offense versus the defense versus offense. Y'all know how we get down. And then if we got time, we can bring in a few callers. So that's basically how the show gonna rock today.
Yeah,
So
let's get it, let's get it.
let's go ahead and roll to the comment section. Let's give a shout out to them. I see the OG done pulled up to the building.
What's up, Jeff?
Jerry, what it do, fam?
What up,
Oh,
what up?
okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and get started, man.
Let's get it started.
Let's see. We're not gonna get off topic, but I seen a source, and I was disturbed. So we're gonna start on that side of the ball. We're gonna start on our offense versus Chicago's defense. Now, before we get into the Pacifics, I do wanna I do want to talk about this right quick, and then we can get on with it. I don't know if you seen it uptown. I seen it during when LSU was playing. I don't know how real the source is, but I heard or I seen a source say that the Saints is in talks with Olave's camp for a new extension. Did you hear anything about that?
No, I didn't hear nothing about that.
Oh well, yeah. This is
And I was looking at the LSU game too. I didn't hear anything about that. Really. So
do you care to chirp on that, or we ain't even gonna entertain it till it happen?
that
I just
that would be a bad idea, man, in in every shape, form, and fashion. But I think it does one thing though, right? If that's true, it would eliminate something that I was thinking, that it would eliminate. I guess that would be a pretenses that I had. My pretenses was that that it seemed like Olave didn't want to be around here. Now, if he talking extension, that means that he does want to be around here. You know, which would eliminate what I thought. I was this is only Saints Uptown personal opinion. I didn't think that his body language, everything that I was seeing from him, made me suggest that he don't really want to be here. You know what I'm saying? So if that is true, CB, then that will go against the narrative that I had set up in my mind. Okay.
right. I'm trying to pull up the source. I mean, yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
Because and it's just funny and stuff, right? Because I seen on some YouTube videos where people his name is being heavily tossed out as far as trades is concerned. His name is out there really really heavy as far as um, cats that people will want to trade for. And believe it or not, so is Alvin Kamara.
Right. Agreed. I mean, I'm with you, man. Like I said, until a reliable source come out, who knows? This might be a reliable source. I'm trying to pull it up so I could read it. Saints working on extension for Chris Olave. This came out five hours ago from rotobowler.com. Now this source he got 50,000 followers. So I mean I don't know. I don't know. We'll just see if it really got some traction or not. But I
I, I
just
don't I don't think that would be something I wouldn't be surprised if Mickey Loomis did stuff or something like that. That would be right out of the Mickey Loomis playbook. No doubt about it. That sounds like something stupid that he would do. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. That sounds exactly like something that Mickey Loomis would do. Take
Right.
a player, extend the player who he know that the fans are not really feeling right now. That sounds so Mickey Loomis like to it might be true, to be honest with you.
Oh boy.
You know it too, CB. Don't sit over there in front. You know that
Oh
sound
no.
you know that sound exactly like what something that Mickey Loomis would do, bro. You've been a Saints fan long enough to know that.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm just trying to get some traction going, man. Diana Russell, I think she said something about it, but I mean, we'll see what happened. But yeah, absolutely. That's a Mickey Loomis type of thing that he would do something like that and pay this guy wide receiver one money. I'm just praying that this isn't the case. I'm just praying that this isn't the case,
Because they
man.
say in next year, if we still have him, I hear something about we will have to pay him something like $15 million or something, something like that. And I'm like, okay, if that's the case, and then he would be an unrestricted free agent after that. And I'm not so I'm not closing the possibilities to that. Let him come back and play for that deal or whatever. You know, and I might motivate him. To want to play better. But you see, then would that be fool's gold? Then you know, would that be he just got motivated because he wanted to get the bag. Then after he get the bag, and he becomes the guy who he really is. You know, I just don't like that, man. I like a player when you got a dog, he gonna be a dog from day one. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna be no dog because he necessarily have to get money and all that kind of stuff. And I look at that, in the realms of the two greatest, in my opinion, the two greatest receivers, ever, which is Randy Moss and Jerry Rice. You understand? Those dudes were just dogs from the get go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They wasn't no dogs because they necessarily, was looking for a contract or nothing like that. Them dudes were just dogs from the get go. So, you know. So with that being said, let's get to it.
All right. So before we get started, man, I'm gonna go ahead and just read out. Uh, just go ahead and read out some names on the defensive side. As you guys know, we're going up against a DA defense.
Hmm.
We'll see how that plays out. I mean, I'll name out some pieces they got over there, and then we can discuss. We got Montez Sweat as a defensive end. He's a solid piece. Grady Jarrett, we've been dealing with him in Atlanta. He's questionable tomorrow. And then let's see, we go to the linebacker position. Tremaine Edwards. Tremaine Edwards was a solid piece, for them for some time. And then let's see, we're gonna go to. Oh, I will mention this. Noah Sewell. He played for us for a minute. He's out, but they got DeMarco Jackson. So DeMarco Jackson might be getting some run tomorrow. You guys know who he is. Used to play for us. He just didn't work out. So we'll see how that plays tomorrow. Then we go to the backfield. The backfield, you got Kevin Bayard. Kevin Bayard played for Tennessee for a while, was a solid safety. I don't know how much he got left in the tank, but we'll see what he can bring. And then Jonathan Owens. Jonathan Owens was, I think that's the guy that date Simone Browse.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
other than that, really no names that stand out to me unless we just unless somebody just pop up tomorrow. But them the solid names that I know. So Uptown, man, DA defense. So how do you think we need to attack this defense to be successful?
We need to attack it by running on them. I think currently right now that the Chicago Bears, I think if I'm not mistaken, they either last or second to the last in league, in stopping the run.
Right.
Now you know what, right? That is exactly how I want us to beat them. And there's a reason why. Okay. I've been wanting to talk about this all week, right? Kendre Miller. Kendre Miller. This is your revenge game, bro. Remember, DA didn't like you. He used to talk trash about you in the media. You understand? You stayed in his doghouse. This the game, bro. You understand? You can hit him where it hurt. You can hit him where it hurt. Another thing too, right? To my understanding, they were that besides Kendrick Miller, there were other players in this locker room that disliked Dennis Allen. You see, there's so much going on with this game that you're not even paying attention to, CB. Besides that Dennis Allen, connection and stuff, right? You forgot, right? Spencer lost his job to Caleb in Oklahoma. Remember that?
Right.
Remember that? So Spencer got a chip on his shoulder. Kendra got a chip on his shoulder. And there's a number of other Saints players in that locker room that got a big, huge chip on their shoulder. They have every incentive to win this game. You know, you're playing against your former coach defense. His defense is looking pretty much weak in the area that it was looking in when he left the Saints, which shows that there's something going on with his defense rather than what was going on with the personnel of the Saints and all that. Okay, that obviously shows it. You know, the Saints as constructed this year is better than what they were last year against the run. Okay, it's just facts. All right. So beat him, man. Like I say, if there's no time for Kellen Moore to give Kendre Miller about 15 or 20 touches, is this game. He's motivated. Kendre, CB, you know that Kendre probably circled this game off on his calendar right here. You understand? If there's ever a
Oh
game
yeah.
to let him eat on this in this game. And I think a lot of those players and stuff, right? Saints players, especially some of them that was around for a minute, they some of them took umbrage to the way in which he handled Jameis Winston, that Jameis Winston situation when he was here too. There's a few players, key players that's still here that recall, what was going on at that time. So, and when you rattle off those players too, I must admit, Grady Jarrett has always been kind of like, you know, a thorn in the Saints side.
Yes.
We will often beat the Falcons, but he would always have a good game. And on the few times when they did beat us, right, he had an impact on the game. I know he ain't the same guy that he was, a few years ago, but considering he's going up against a younger offensive line, and he's gonna be attacking people in the interior who we don't really have a whole lot of confidence in, meaning, Penning and Caesar, you know, that can be a problem. And that dude Sweat is also a good player, you know,
Yes.
considering that he's going to be going up against a second year tackle in Fuaga, who looked like he haven't quite found his footing, completely on the right side yet, you know, and a rookie in Calvin Banks. You know, he's probably licking his chops too. You know, and Da gonna try and he's familiar with Spencer, so he's gonna try and pressure Spencer. One thing that I hear that the Chicago Bears is doing well, and that's something that they did well too. Underneath that the Saints did well too, underneath Dennis Allen, is that they lead in the league. I think they lead the league in interceptions. So Spencer got to be aware of the pressure, and he got to be careful of where he's placing the ball. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I think would be the key to beating them, because the key can't be, you know, to throw the ball to Jawan Johnson, because Jawan Johnson, let's be straight about him. He's been a disappointment. And the key can't be going to Chris Olave, because he's been getting the lion's share of the targets all season, and he haven't did a damn thing, to show for it. He don't have a damn thing really to show for it. Now, if we can, catch him sleeping and, hit him up, we know with Rashad Shaheed, and maybe if they give Devon Bailey some more playing time, because every time he comes in the game, look like he does something spectacular, you know. Maybe, but not with the Cooks, Jawan Johnsons, and all that kind of stuff. These dudes has got to make plays, man, and make plays, that you haven't made for Spencer all season.
Yeah, and stay committed. Stay committed to the run. Like you said, they ranked 31st. I was looking it up, man. They 31st in run defense, so you got to take advantage of that. And I'm
Mhm.
shocked to see that they 31st and Grady Jarrett was up there, but I don't know if Grady Jarrett, if he's over the hill now, was he been injured? But I think he's questionable tomorrow, either questionable or out. But whatever, if he's out, then that's a plus. But for them to be 31st in defense, we got to commit to the run. We got Taysom, so we can give Miller the ball. AK, I don't know the status on him. I think he gonna suit up, but if he's nagging with that ankle he was nagging with it last week as well. Don't run him to the dirt.
Yeah.
Like let Kendra eat, let Devin Neal eat. I mean, if AK can play, give him a few touches, but he don't need to be getting 20 touches if you see his ankle messed up, and we got a supporting cast that can step in.
Hmm.
We need to get 15 to 20 touches. Devin Neal a few, and then with Taysom, let's get him involved. So the running game, we shouldn't be seeing a heavy dose of Kamar, not because he can't do it. I mean, if he's hurt, let's not try to run him to the ground.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
yeah, on that end, let's attack there, but they're going to be just say if they is effective, because we also got to think our our run blocking has been decent this season, hadn't been atrocious. But with that being said, it's times where the offensive line, the run blocking pinning may, get beat and stuff like that, and may cause our run game to get kind of stopped a little bit. So we got to be ready out at receivers as well, to
Hmm.
get out there. This has been the area where we haven't been productive in like that, to be honest. Um, so we got to make sure we're ready on that. A lot of play action. If they,
Hmm.
of course, they know that we're looking, they know that we're looking at their run defense and be like, okay, we got to eat there. Well, with that being said, we gotta kind of mix it up, do a lot of play action, because they're gonna try to commit to our run. So play action, and then guys got to make plays at receiver. So
Hmm. Yeah,
pretty much,
and you see that last part you just said, right? That's the part that worries me the most.
right,
Guys got to make plays at receiver, because let's be honest, guys ain't been making plays nowhere on this team this
nope,
season. Not even Elvin Kamara. He got drops too. You know what I'm saying? And you know what was really starting to annoy me now? I'm starting to, and I probably shouldn't let it annoy me, but it is, right? Even after we talked and stuff, last week we did the show and all that, right? We did the show. I continue to see people calling for Tyler Shuck, you know, or suggesting that we should play him and all this and the third. And I'm like, I don't, CB, but let's be for real here, right? Okay, is it something I'm not seeing? What is it? What is it I'm not seeing? Okay,
No, you're
okay.
seeing everything.
Spencer had some throws that I'm pretty sure that he would want to take back.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, but nobody is making plays for Spencer. I don't know what I don't know. I'd be damned. I do not believe, right? Okay, that had we started Shook, that Shook would be any better. I don't believe that. You understand? As a matter of fact, the stuff that they were saying that was happening with Shook in training camp, they wasn't saying that was happening with Rattler in training camp. At one point, Shook was having problems with getting the ball out in 7-on-7 drills. I remember them saying that. Don't you remember them saying that?
Yeah. Also turning the ball over.
And also turning the ball over. So I'm like, I I don't know what the hell they looking at. I think okay. I know I didn't notice. We didn't notice this change, this swift change in right. Once we became average, you will, or right now we below average, right? Once we started going through our growing pains, some of the stuff from the fans have become more and more ridiculous. You understand? On both ends of the scale, CB, we got fans that I encounter fans that are so delusional that they think that we should have won every game this season. The same way I've encountered fans that's so delusional, you understand, that they can look at the good things that we're doing and not acknowledge them. You see, I contend with this, and I'm gonna keep saying it and keep saying it, right? Until I've been shown otherwise. You understand? As far as I'm concerned, the MVP of the Saints right now, if I was to have to vote for an MVP of the Saints right now, it would be Spencer Rattler,
Without question.
without a question. Spencer Rattler has been more consistent of a player than any player on the Saints team this season. If you had told me, we going 6 weeks into the season and we was 1-5, I would have attributed damn near every loss to poor quarterback play. And ain't none of these losses I can contribute to poor quarterback play. As a matter of fact, he has had 3 games so far this season that he played well enough for us to win the game and we lost. And those is facts. They ain't even opinion.
I got a question just so everybody can get clarification. Now, to my understanding, up down, the only interception that Rattler has is when the ball game was over in Seattle and he threw that pick. To me,
Yeah,
I don't even count. To me, I'm not counting that. So minus the pick, can you tell me any other plays where he's turning the ball over, fumbles, and
no.
is it
And then,
something that
then
I'm?
and remember you had a fumble on 4th down trying to make something happen against the San Francisco 49ers too at the end of the game, trying to make something happen. The same way that happened with that interception that you also talking about. Okay? When the game was virtually over with and he's trying to be a hero and make plays without no playmakers. You understand? So I don't get it, man. It's and you know something, bro? Let me tell you why that's concerning to me. Because I truly believe that we are seeing a franchise player in the making. You understand what I'm saying? This dude is getting better, man. This dude has gotten better every game he's played this season. You understand what I'm saying? I'm seeing it. I'm watching him grow. You understand? And I fear that if we let Spencer Rattler go, that's something that will haunt us. You understand what I'm saying? I truly believe that Spencer Rattler will go someplace and show out and become a Pro Bowler and all that kind of stuff, right? You understand? I really do. I really, really do. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm thinking that if we go here, because look, all this stuff, right? I know Saints fans started off the season, started off with Saints fans. You know, they got this delusion and stuff of grandeur. Because some of them wanted to get, okay, well, Arch Manning coming out. Maybe we can get in the position where we can get Arch Manning. Arch Manning is not that dude. Okay? I just saw him play this season. He looked lousy. And if he was that dude, how come he couldn't beat out Brock Ewers over there? Because people act like Arch Manning just got there. He's been there for quite some time, and he couldn't beat out Brock Ewers. Okay, and they talking about this dude Nussmeyer. Okay, everybody knows I'm an LSU fan, right? Nussmeyer is not that dude. Okay, he's not that dude. So what are we jockeying for now? You understand? I would think that the Saints would, if Spencer Rattler stays playing at the level that he's playing right now, although we don't win many games, I still want Spencer Rattler back as my starting quarterback next season.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't feel like getting any of these dudes, will be an upgrade over Spencer Rattler. I don't. You understand? I don't see no quarterback that's in college right now that I can look at and I can say he's definitely better than Spencer Rattler. I wish we draft him. And I'm being really, really humble and objective here. You understand what I'm saying? I think that would be a damn mistake, bro. If we let Spencer. And I feel that Spencer Rattler is a player that if we let him go, he's going to go someplace and he's going to become a star. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
You see? So all this stuff about, I really wish, people would really, just stop with the BS, right? And I knew that the criteria, we knew CB, we talked about this years ago. That when Drew Brees was out of here, that people was gonna have unreasonable expectations for the next few quarterbacks that came. We knew that. You understand? What they want Spencer to do? Go out there without no playmakers. They see you don't have no playmakers, right? And do some kind of miracle or something like that. You understand? Sometimes they don't block well for him. Is that his fault? They don't catch the ball for him. Is that his fault? They not playing complementary football. The defense ain't stopping nobody to put him in more of a position where he can affect the game. Is that his fault? You
No.
understand? They call crazy ass plays at inopportune moments. Is that his fault?
No.
You understand what I'm saying? I mean, people need to stop it with the foolishness, bro. And it takes a whole lot to convince me. All right. I can't just look at, a little tidbit of what you do and be like, well, he's that business. That's that dude. You understand what I'm saying? No, I'm looking at collectively. I'm looking at how this dude was last season and how better he is this season and how you can tell that he thinks about what he's doing on the football field. And I would appreciate any damn quarterback right? You can call him a game manager, whatever the hell you want to call him, right? Who don't turn the ball over and don't be putting the ball in jeopardy. You understand? Any quarterback like that.
We
You
just gotta
understand?
take a L. We just gotta take a L on Shuck. Picking them that high. Let's just take the L and keep it moving because you can't. This is just like you said, man. Before this season started, I didn't expect Spencer to be playing like this. And of course, people, the ones that's going against him, they bringing up talking about some of his throws. Well, that's part of the process. Like we wasn't expecting him to come out and be playing like Drew Brees. This is a comment. Shout out to Who That 5L said Kellen Smart. You can't tell me otherwise. He chose Spencer once he got up close and seen both players. He could have just played the 40 pit if it was close.
Yep.
He could have just put Shuck out there. If it was too close to call, Kellen
Yep.
could have put Shuck out there, but he knows Shuck needed some time. But the way this is playing out now, the opportunity ain't gonna come unless something what we hope don't happen. He just get banged up or something. That's the only that's the only way I see Shuck having a chance to get on the field. Because the way Spencer's playing right now, it's no way you pull him just to
Yeah.
try to see what you got in Shuck. That doesn't make sense. You just gotta take it on the chin, man. You pick the dude this high. Hey man, we got another quarterback that we just gonna go for. Hey man, it happens. Everybody in the NFL done had a first round, second round, third round at some point in their franchise where it just didn't work out, or the opportunity some other player took advantage of the opportunity and didn't give an opportunity for the guy to get in. It's just what it is, man.
But people don't sit down here, right? Like they don't remember, right? Tom Brady was a 6th round draft pick.
Yes,
Drew Bledsoe got injured, and that opened up the doors for Tom Brady. And rightfully so. Once Bill Belichick saw what he had in Brady, he stuck with him. And 6 championships later, you understand? He seen that was a damn good decision to make. And the, of course, the Patriots have drafted quarterbacks higher than that. Now they didn't draft Drew Bledsoe at the time, but they traded for him and they sent valuable trade capital, away for him. You know what I'm saying? So they could have had some type of, they had an investment in stuff in Drew Bledsoe. And it wasn't like Drew Bledsoe was a bad quarterback for the New England Patriots. It's just that Tom Brady ended up being better. Point blank period. You know? So yeah, and just like Venom said, right? Remember the Chargers let Drew Brees walk. You understand? And that ended up being a mistake. That ended up being a mistake by the Chargers. You gotta know, bro, when you got good stuff. You understand? You gotta recognize and understand when you got good stuff. And don't be giving away your good stuff. And not only the Chargers, Venom, you talking about the Chargers, Venom. Remember, he went to Miami and he supposedly failed a damn failed
they
their
physical or
exam over there.
something.
Yeah. He failed their physical or whatever. And they let him, they said, you going on and you kick rocks. And that man showed that he was elite with us from the first damn game that he played for the New Orleans Saints. We saw that we had an elite quarterback almost immediately. Remember, in 2006, the man took us to the damn NFC Championship game, the first year that he played for us. We almost went to the Super Bowl the first year that Drew Brees played as a New Orleans Saint. Think about that.
Facts.
You understand what I'm saying? So, bro, look, we got something in Spencer. you know, I appreciate a quarterback that can protect the ball. Just let him keep, you know what I'm saying, developing. Then he's gonna be good. People say, okay, he don't do nothing to win us football games. See, that's a two-way street. You know, you got to have people too. You know, he can't throw the ball and catch the ball too. You understand what I'm saying? You can't do that. You understand? You got to have people that's gonna catch the ball, that's gonna be reliable. Somebody with some sticky ass hands, that when you throw the ball their way, that they gonna always come down with it. Even the great Drew Brees that we had, man, our receivers had some sticky ass hands. You
Yes.
understand? Marcus Colston. You understand? Lance Moore. They had some sticky ass hands. You understand? Devery Henderson. The ball just wasn't hitting the ground a lot. You understand? So that's it, man. I'm off my soapbox with that because all season I've been seeing too much of that, and that shit's starting to bother me now. You know what I'm saying? Because if all the things that's going wrong on this team, why focus on the one thing that's going right? You know, let's get on this defensive side of the ball. Let's just talk about this now.
That's right. I will say this. Don't forget Spencer. He going up against the other QB on the field that we're about to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
So just know he gonna have some motivation for this game. Spencer is. So
Yeah,
let's
he's gonna have a lot of motivation, and I hope that Olave have a lot of motivation because I know he heard how people been dragging for his ass in the media.
yeah,
I know you've been hearing that, man.
because his
No,
brother definitely been telling him.
yeah, ain't nobody, man. Look, and I'm just gonna be. That's one thing, for once the Saints media was honest, that went around. All the Saints media was giving his ass the business, man. You understand? I did not hear nobody in Saints media that wasn't giving him the business. Also, I heard that too, from a number of other cats and stuff that do podcasts, you
Right.
know. So
Okay, so what I'm gonna do, of course, what I done on the defensive side, I'm gonna go ahead and just read some names on the offensive side. You guys gonna be familiar with. We just talked Caleb Williams. We're gonna get on him. DeAndre Swift, he all right. We got Rome Adundes. He was I think he's a first round pick,
yeah.
solid pick right now. DJ Moore, we know him from Carolina.
Hmm.
Zacchaeus, we know him from Atlanta. Slot player Cole Komet, he's a solid, decent piece. And then on the offensive line, a name that just stands out to me is Joe Thurney. Joe Thurney is a solid piece. Um, and that's all I can think of right now. So offensively, I also got the offensive numbers. Their pass offense is ranked 11th in the league, so they almost got a top 10 pass offense. That doesn't sound good to me. I'm just thinking of our backfield. Then their rush offense is 18th in the league. They actually above us. We 19th and they 18th. So the offensive side, it's looking like this is a more polished side compared to their defense. When you're just talking about numbers, how they've been ranking in the league. So, Uptown, the floor is yours, man. What's your thoughts on the things we should do to be successful?
I'm gonna tell you the truth, bro. Right? You know what I'm saying? And like, I can't sit here and be phony. You know, um, after seeing what I saw last week, and really what I've been seeing consistently every week, that makes me very nervous, bro. You understand? Because first of all, we over the last 4 or 5 years or so, right? We have not did well against quarterbacks that got mobility. Okay, and this cat here got a whole lot of mobility. You understand what I'm saying? He got a lot of mobility. As a matter of fact, he relies more on his physical, attributes than what he relies more on his mental attributes. as far as this quarterback is concerned, right? He's not very good at reading defenses. All right, but he would tuck the ball and run. And tucking the ball and run on us has been very successful, for a lot of quarterbacks, even quarterbacks that don't even run that much. You understand what I'm saying? So that scares me. I'm gonna tell you something else that scares me. While you rattled off those, with the exception of Oduze, Rome Oduze, you rattled off all those wide receivers that are veteran wide receivers going up against our young secondary. You understand? That got their ass waxed and stuff against less veteran wide receivers last week. These dudes
Right.
is more savvy. They more savvy. They understand the nuances and stuff of the game, a bit much. You understand? So that also causes me some trepidation. And then this tight end they got, you know, who do we have that's going to be covering him? Who? You see that all that is, as much motivation as I have for us on the offensive side of the ball. You know, I don't have a whole lot of motivation or nothing for us on this defensive side of the ball because and we talked about their running game, Deontay's on Swift. Now, if the way that we sometimes play the run, we play it better this season than what we played it last season. But I can very well see that dude hurting us because that dude do run hard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm nervous about everything on every level of our defense. Now, on paper, it seemed like our defensive line should do better. You know, we couldn't really get at Drake May last week. Chase Young, Carl Granderson, Cam Jordan, all of them, right? What you think they're gonna do? You think they're gonna be able to get at Caleb like that? And Caleb is a much more, athletic, quarterback than what Drake May is. He probably gonna be one of the most athletic quarterbacks that we see all season.
Right.
You see, so I'm very, very concerned about that. Very, very concerned. Because that's all we do. We get upfield. We seem like we overrun, you know, the quarterback, and then that leaves all this open. And then they run on us, and sometimes those can be big runs, depending on if we in man coverage. Then we get into zone, and these crafty receivers, Zacchaeus and DJ Moore, and all these people, man, they know where to sit at in the zone and get open.
Yep.
We can
It
very
hasn't it
well,
hasn't been working out. It hasn't been working out for our number one corner. I'm not gonna to go against the rest of the QB depth minus Yadam. Yadam, hopefully they don't even put him back in.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean it scared me for Kool-Aid, man. Kool-Aid is definitely
yeah, because you see,
concerned.
once he won that, NFC Player of the Week thing, man, now he gonna have a big target on him all the time. People gonna
Yep.
come in, trying to lick their chops and stuff on him. You know, we gonna see, man, do him and Quincy Riley, or y'all gonna exhibit that dog? Do y'all have that dog in y'all? The Sankir. Do y'all have that dog in y'all to make sure that nobody don't embarrass y'all again like y'all got embarrassed last week?
Right.
And how y'all been getting consistently embarrassed, really, on throughout the course of the year. You understand? So, bro, look, another thing too, man. I don't know if you know this, bro, but in our last 4 games, we surrendered touchdowns on the first 2 possessions. The team first 2 possessions, boom, they are 14-0.
Yep. Happened with
You
the
know,
Giants game and then this last game.
Yeah. So, are y'all gonna even be able to stop that? And then, Spencer come in the game. Not here it is, right? Offense get on the field and they already down 14 points. That's an uphill battle right there. You see? So, bro, man, if there was ever a game, even for the defense, to make a statement, it would be this game. But I'm gonna be honest with you, CB. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in them. I just don't. You understand? Because I know Drake May is coming into his own, but they made him look like he was all world. They made Kayshawn Booty look like he was all world. They made what's that other boy name? They made them. It just made them look just too damn good, bro. And they looked at like crap. So I want to see, what they're gonna do, bro. How they gonna respond to that? You understand? I want to see how they're gonna respond to that, bro. Because you know, I don't. It pains me to say this, CB, and it's not like those dudes you mentioned. It's all world. Them dudes you mentioned on Chicago, but I don't see where we got an advantage nowhere. I really don't.
We don't.
You know?
That's the scary part, man. And it's looking like they just gonna stick with Kool-Aid out there. I mean, like I said, I think they was doing Kool-Aid a disservice throwing them in the fire like that
Yeah.
in the beginning. And it's crazy because Alante not even getting that type of smoke. But I've been saying that for weeks about Alante, man. They're gonna keep him in the nickel spot. Um, if you want to have Kool-Aid out there playing, just see what he can do in the nickel. And then if it doesn't work out there, because it's not working out on the outside. So I mean, do you keep just throwing him out there like you trying to force him to turn into something? And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he can't get better, like his ceiling is finished, but some players you just got to develop them, man. You just can't throw them in the fire and just expect them because Kool Aid. It ain't working out for Kool Aid, man. And any
But
one of those receivers can go out there and cook them like lunch meat. So
bro,
that's the concern. And Justin Reed, I mean, you got him back there. I mean, this guy. I mean, he's supposed to be one of the top safeties in the league. So I mean, I'm expecting him to get something going for the secondary. Jonas Sanker been balling. I know the Patriots game in coverage. Yeah, and it's gonna happen. He a rookie, so he gonna
yeah,
have a few games where it happened to him. He got done up like that, but I'm not gonna put all that pressure on him when you got somebody beside him back there that's supposed
yeah.
to be one of the top safety. So he got to eat.
And you know something, CB? Now, I wouldn't be so hard on Kool-Aid, right? Had it not been for one thing, right? They was talking about how he was killing it in training camp. And he's so ready to be the number one corner. And yada, and yada, and yada, and damn yada. You understand? Now, could it be, and I'm gonna ask you this, right? This is a question for you, CB. Could it be, right? Because when we drafted this dude, we drafted Kool-Aid to be a press man corner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, cornerbacks in Dennis Allen defense are press man corner. All right. And this cat here seemed to play, you know, more zone defense than say Dennis Allen. Okay. Do you think that may have something to do with him and the way his up and down play this season?
I'm gonna say no, and the reason I'm saying no is because a good bit of the plays that he's getting beat in, they're playing man. Now I will say like the Bills. Now that Bills game, it was a lot of the place that he was getting cooked that he was in zones coverage. Now I remember that game. They was playing a lot of zone in the backfield, and them plays he was getting cooked up like that. He was he was playing he wasn't pressing the man, so he was playing zone. So he was just reacting to when the receiver got the ball, but the receiver just happened to be in his direction. Now, with that being said, far as making a play on the receiver when he catch the ball, or you can see when the ball is coming out to the receiver, he didn't have that speed to go react to the receiver and make the play. So in zone coverage, definitely he's definitely a liability in zone coverage. And with that being said, man coverage, yeah, that's why DA drafted him. And at Bama, that's where he was eating at, pressing receivers, but it just ain't working out here. And I don't think just say if this was a DA style of offense, I mean style of defense where they play a lot of press coverage, I really can't say that it'll make that big of a difference because I done seen some plays where he getting done up on press coverage too.
Hmm.
So I
So
don't
I'm
know,
like,
man.
I'm like this, bro. So like, and another thing too, bro. Remember they said this too, CB. They said that Brandon Staley defense is very similar to the defense that Kool-Aid supposedly had played in when he was at Alabama. Okay. So I was expecting him to thrive in his defense. You know what I'm saying? But, I'm gonna look, I'm gonna put it like this, right, bro? Because he's still a very young player, right? I'm trying not to just write him off, okay? Because really I'm not gonna write off none of the whole secondary because they got some very young players in that secondary. Um, I wish, bro, that that we can take and put somebody younger in, for this Justin Reed dude because even when he returned last week, it's funny. It's funny, and I hate to don't make it look like I'm crapping on him, but the week you got hurt and it seemed like you got a concussion for that game and you were out, it seemed like that secondary played with some type of cohesion and it looked at like a real secondary back there. But the minute you come back, they look like garbage. They give up tons of yards and stuff to the New England Patriots and stuff and they wide receivers. So I don't know what to say about that, bro.
I,
You
I want
dig?
to read a comment right quick.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tim Dunn. Welcome back, man. Welcome back, Tim. He said, of course it does. They got him 10 yards off the ball. Now, is this in relation to Kool-Aid?
Yeah. I didn't seen plays. He's telling the truth. He's telling the truth. I didn't seen plays too, where he's off the ball, and I think those are usually times when they trying to play man or something. I mean, not man on trying to play zone.
Yeah,
Because if he's off the ball and they playing man coverage, then that makes absolutely no sense. And that's something that that you would have to ask the coach and stuff about that. Why you got this man off the 10 years off, 10 yards off the ball, and and we playing man, man coverage. That wouldn't make no sense.
that's true.
But I've seen that, right? And when we in those kind of and when he's off the ball like that, you notice too, the quarterback just hit the receiver out in the flat right quick. They might not necessarily get no touchdown or sometimes they don't even get a first down, but they pick up 5-6 yards or something like that. That's valuable yards. You see?
Right. That's true. So I mean, yeah, I don't know why they hadn't adjusted made an adjustment to that. I mean, I think Stanley know what he's doing, to an extent, but yeah, man, we can't have our guys 10 yards off the ball. I mean, yeah, and you can see it on tape where they off the ball like that. But if you seeing Kool-Aid, it's not working out for Kool-Aid, and you have this guy as a number one cornerback. You gotta try to play to his strengths. So put him up closer to the receiver. Play a little bit more press with the receivers. I don't know, man. I
Man,
guess we
Captain
just see.
Discernment,
I guess Tom will tell because they gonna keep him out there. So
they put up Captain Discernment that question, the last question he asked. You can answer that, bro. 'Cause man, we play a 3-4 defense now, bro. We played a 4-3 defense or 4-2, really a 4-2 defense, for a long time underneath Dennis Allen. Because remember, our two linebackers used to be Pete Warner and Demario Davis,
right,
and we had four down linemen. We play a 3-4 now. Our defensive ends and stuff is Nathan Shepard and Brian Brzee, and we feature Devon Gaucho, in the center of our defense. And the four linebackers are supposedly the four linebackers, quote unquote, supposed to be Granderson and Chase Young, who are really, the primary pass rushers, along with the inside backers, which is Demario Davis and Pete Warner. So that should answer your question there. We run a 4-3 defense, but they interchange that a lot. Sometimes you might see a 4-2, whatever. Good defensive coordinators ain't gonna show you the same front, every play.
right.
So that answers your question, bro. So no, everybody know this Staley, our defensive coordinator. Everybody knows that he features a 3-4 defense. That's what he's ran, his whole career. He even ran it when he was the head coach of the San Diego, or when they were the San Diego Chargers.
Yep, and it worked out with them. It worked out with them with the Rams. 'Cause, they had the number one defense with the Rams. It worked out with them because you got a guy like Michael Floyd. Was he a
And,
multi
and
Pro Bowler? No, but he could rush the passer, but he could also drop back decently too. So when
yeah,
you're able to do both of those, if you're able to drop back at a decent level, you can kind of switch things up.
yeah, they had a Hall of Famer too, like Aaron Donald too, in the middle of their defense too. So
Right.
when you got somebody like him that can be so disruptive and stuff up front, I believe that Staley don't have the proper, personnel, because a lot of the personnel we have, were really, 4-3 personnel, and he don't have the proper personnel to run his defense, which I thought that was going to be like that, his first year anyway, you know. So I reckon once he get, the kind of players that he deemed necessary, for his defense, maybe we may see a more of a consistent, you know, uh, you know, performance and stuff out of the defense from there. So
Right. Well, you got any more thoughts on this side before we wrap the show up?
nah, that's about it, bro. You know what I'm saying? The defense gonna have to, tighten up and make sure. I hope that they don't get embarrassed like they did last week, bro. So that's about it, man. You know, we can wrap it up from there if you want to, CB.
All right. Well, who that nation? I said tomorrow's another test for us. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what Spencer gonna do. I mean, I love the growth, regardless of the record. Like we done stated for the millionth time, I'm not worried about what's going on in the division, trying to compete in it. I'm not even worried about that because once we get our quarterback and we start getting pieces around, we're gonna be right back in the mix. But we got to get that quarterback first. And
Mm-hmm.
and we're watching one grow before our eyes. Trying to make change. We're worried about the wrong position at this point.
Yeah.
So let's just start looking at other pieces. Hopefully, this Chris Olave stuff isn't true. Hopefully it isn't true, but like I said, we talk about Mickey Loomis, so we know the boneheaded decisions he's been making, as a GM. So I wouldn't be shocked. Like if next week they say we done agreed to an extension with Olave, I won't even be shocked to
No, I
hear.
wouldn't be shocked either because that's more in tune with his character.
Right.
So that's about it, man. We appreciate y'all, and we'll be coming at y'all, man. It may be tomorrow, it may be Monday. Hopefully tomorrow we can come at y'all right away with the after show. Wrap all that up and let y'all know how it go. You dig? But no, I don't want no. I don't. I said I'm not gonna do no score predictions this season because
Yeah. Yeah.
that's not really. You understand? That's just unfortunately, you can't really predict how this season gonna go, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So,
That's why I just leave that out the way.
all right, yeah,
But make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow the page Who That Nation. And let's go get this W tomorrow. This the WDN Chatline podcast, and we out. Who that?
who that baby? Oh yeah, for life. Man, I know I didn't say it on the